Welcome, everyone, to Life of Giants. I am one of your hosts, Dean of the Genetic Marvel. Cole Clayton is not here because he apparently was born on today. What a bitch.
He fell out the badge today.
I mean, he was hatched out of an egg, let's be honest. But of course, my other co host, Mr. Marco Torres of Upside Down Studios, is here, and we are still going to talk about things. Now, to put everything into perspective so everyone knows, you need to understand that yesterday was number one, Catholic Easter. Number two, Greek Orthodox Easter. Number three, 420, which is Rastafarian Easter. Okay.
Two more. What are the other two? What are the other
Hold
two?
Hold on. Then today is Cole's birthday. Also, the Pope died. Also, Kanye admitted that he was blowing his cousin until he was 14. It's been a wild 24 hours. Let's be honest. What were the other two?
Columbine and Hitler's birthday.
Of course. Yes, you pointed those out. I forgot. I tried to wipe those from my memory, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Victoria. Welcome to the perfect time. I want to let everyone know, too, just to be very clear, now that we have some viewers, my wife bought me new clothes today. Now, you say to yourself, wow, Dino, that's a distinct color. Does it get crazier? I'll tell you it does, because why? I have a matching shirt underneath. Okay? It's the same color. Hold on. It gets crazier. I'll show you why, because I got matching pants, baby. Bam!
She bought you a tracksuit. She's turning you into a little old Asian lady.
Basically, yeah. I'm the hairiest little old Asian lady known to mankind. What's up, Shell?
I mean, honestly, you look more retired mafia, like a tracksuit type, deal.
I need Victoria's like, that's what you wanted. No, I'll tell you, it even gets worse.
You wanted Colorado Canyon fucking red.
It gets worse. She has matching shorts and a t-shirt as well. So don't put this on me, woman.
You though? Do they match you? Are they the same colors?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how cute!
What hole do I gotta
get you guys in?
If we go, we're both going right off a cliff. Same time. That's it. That's how it's going.
What's up, Butters?
So we have, among things that have happened, we had Catholic Easter, we have Greek Orthodox Easter, Rastafarian Easter, which is 420. We have Hitler's birthday. We have Columbine. Then the day after, Cole's birthday, the Pope died, and Kanye admitted that he's been sucking off his cousin until he was 14. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to happen in a short period of time. No,
there's a lot of that. I feel like is just been put out there as a cover for. I did find a few glimpses of some real news. Apparently, and I thought this was just like kind of like one of them rumors or kind of how the headlines go or whatever. But it's on like major news too.
Telltale.
The government knows that and has blatantly said that we have technology to time travel and to manipulate time and space.
Okay, so I saw that too.
I seen the dude say, doing the speech, and it sounded like he was like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have said that, and he tried to walk it back because he went, we have the technology, we've been doing it, but then he's like, well, we could put the technology together and we could absolutely do this. No, bitch, wait a minute. 5 minutes ago, you just said we was already doing this.
Yeah.
We can't
backtrack that. You can't backtrack it. So, I am alive, kind of. None of us are alive. We're all in a simulation. Boom. Bullshit. Uncle Butter, I'm trying to get back in the comedy. I think, what are you boys believe? No, don't do it. Save some pussy for the rest of us.
I love Uncle Butters, man. Fucking Butters is great. He pretty much gets the same looks that I do when we go on stage. Either people love us or hate us.
That's fair. I do enjoy his Santa. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I do enjoy Santa.
Fucking great.
You know what, Paul? I really feel that what you should do is make it seasonal. Make it really pop for yourself. Because listen, you need everything you got. I say do winter, do it well, and then take the rest of your year off like Santa does. Makes sense.
See, I would do it like I would do the Santa, but all year round. like on fucking Easter, it'd be Santa. Like I'd have fucking like the red like shorts with the white fuzzy on the bottom, and I'd still have like a Santa hat, but I'd put bunny ears over it. You could do gay pride with the Santa with the rainbow shorts, and
I think
no shirt on, just the suspenders.
I say Santa shorts, Santa crop top with the suspenders, and a mesh Santa hat. That's what they make it excessively gay, not a little bit. We want to go that extra level, right?
If you go like Black History Month, do blackface with the Santa hat on.
Listen, Paul, no one said that Santa's got to go to gay pride and start blowing dudes. I'm just saying you got to show up. You got to show off, okay? You got to become inclusive, sir.
If you really think about it, up until recently, every depiction of Santa and his elves, all the elves were male. Just saying, you got a little guy that dick height. You got 50 little guys. You got 100 little guys, dick height. One day a dick might go in an elf.
I'm just saying, listen, Viagra was created. Santa's walking around, forgot he took his boner pills. Someone's getting hit in the head with a cock. That's fair. It's only reasonable. Yeah, I feel that's fair. No, Paul, listen, you're hilarious. You're always hilarious. I would say 100%. Work on a new set. Do 5 minutes. Kill it. Enjoy. There's
just to give a shout out to Uncle Butters. I think one of the times I just instilled and like cemented my respect for that man. I'm not sure if it was a buddy or just somebody in his community. The husband and wife passed away. Ooh. And they left. It was some kind of accident or whatever. But there was a little girl and a little boy. I believe the little boy was autistic, and the grandfather was took the kids in, but they had nothing for Christmas. So Butters reached out to me, and he, because he knows I got all kind of outfits or whatever.
Yeah.
And me and him showed up to these little kids' house, dressed as Santa and that big ass dinosaur from Toy Story. Like I got an air inflatable one, and just like I'm thinking in my head, like I have an autistic little brother, like real deal. Like this is before autistic became like ADHD, and it was cool to be fucking autistic.
Right.
This kid is just staring. I mean, after a minute, he was cool, but you could tell I put the fear of Christ in that poor kid. This thing is bigger than you are. Like. I had to like kind of
big dinosaur. That's a big dinosaur.
Through the fucking the doorway, and when I got there, like Butters went there as the good Santa and gave you out the gifts and stuff, and I'm like, moving around, and like this kid is just,
yeah.
He ended up giving me a hug.
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest with you. I have gotten those same looks, just dressed like a normal person. So. I know how it feels because I've had little kids who just look at me and they're like, what? And I'm like, hi. And they're like, no, just walk away. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Yeah. It's like, nope, not for me. Paul says it is against my core beliefs. That's why you have to do it. You have to push your boundaries to become a better person. That's how you do it, Paul. Nobody said you have to be gay. I'm just saying you got to try it. Chink R says, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? I am on the internet. You're just talking. You have to prove yourself first, sir.
Yeah, Chink.
I know. Chink R. That's racist.
Chinker.
No, that's why my female is L. My females L's have the pointy ears and pointy nose. The ears are from where my holding. I mean, that's abusive, sir. That is abusive.
Nose is a depth chart.
I think you need to check your boundaries. You've misplaced them. Now you're abusing people. Boundaries, sir. Boundaries. Listen, I'm all for Easter, but like, yeah, it's been a little bit weird over the last couple of days. So how was your Easter, sir?
It was just another stressful day to me. So one of them times a year that I have to go deal with my mom. Yeah, she's still alive. I'm happy at that. I mean,
is she driven by spite? Like she's staying alive because just
I feel that. Yeah, that's what it. Because again, a lot of people post these memes and shit. People who were brought up on love act different and react differently than people who were brought up to survive. I was brought up on hate. I was brought up on hate and anger. And you know what? I found out that is the best way to be brought up. Fuck your love, fuck your baby and these people. You're making a bunch of entitled fucking pussies out there. Tell your kid he's a piece of shit and kick him out every once in a while.
Hey, that was actually, you know what? That was one of the few times that I've made you stop and go, oh, shit, was when I told you, I'm like, a child not fed love on a silver spoon will lick it from the edge of a knife. And you're like, God damn. You're like, because that's the fucking truth of it, right?
After I thought about it for a minute, I licked a lot of knives.
I know.
Being Hispanic, I've had razors in my mouth.
I never could figure that one out. I'm like,
it doesn't make sense because you're constantly worried about something fucking, if 100%. You the wrong way, or you drink your beer the wrong way, whatever. I give it up for the Chicanas that fucking could do that shit.
100%.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a fat guy. My cheek is already in danger from my own teeth. I can't have sharp things going on in there.
As many times I done bit my own cheek. Shh.
Bro, I did it yesterday. It's still hurting. Yeah, man. No. Oh, yeah. I don't want to put that up, Uncle Butter. That's a little bit. Yeah. Mother was in jail and father. Yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah,
it was the most affection they had given that kid. Anybody was, and Marco to myself, even the daughter. She was withheld a little bit, but she came out of her shell. If it was listening, honestly, see, this is the thing: is that only like there's a certain thing to this, right? Where like you have to suffer to grow, right? Like you can grow with being loved and supported. That's true. But when you suffer, it's a different kind of, it's a principled growth because you've chosen it, right?
You appreciate more of what you've earned.
I agree. So this is actually a fantastic segue into our topic, right? So what I did was, as a quote, is it's actually a Bible scripture. We're going to expand on it, but it's as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. And to explain it a little bit better, it's the idea that a person in your life who isn't afraid to give you harsh but honest truths is a better friend than the person who lies to you to maintain the status quo, right? And that's the thing is, like, people who have had to figure it out on their own have a different appreciation for honesty. They have a different appreciation for people who are trying to change and people who are trying to go. And they have also, let's be honest, zero fucking patience for somebody who won't.
The tolerance level goes way down. Way down.
I like to use the word is someone who's an asshole. They ask you and then they still do the opposite what they want to do. You're like, hey man, that's a bad idea. You should do this. And immediately, okay, watch this.
They'll still come back to you constantly with that bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. We build each other up and make each other better, strengthen each other. I mean, listen, if you can't tell me the truth, then we're not friends. It's that simple. I like this. Dan says, that's why I don't have a lot of friends. No, sir, you don't have a lot of friends because you keep on blowing out your wiener in front of people. That's the truth.
No, that's me. That's me.
Hey, it's not exclusive, sir. Don't worry.
Dan walks around with a cane, and every once in a while, when I get drunk, I'll move his cane and just stick my dick there.
He's like, the handle's a little soft. I don't.
Why is the handle limp all of a sudden?
Listen, but that's the thing is when you can talk to people, not even liberally, but with honesty and be like, hey man, I don't know what to do this situation. Have you ever experienced something? And I'll be like, no, maybe something like it though. I like to do this. And this was one of the first kindnesses that someone gave me was I was in the middle of my divorce and, another guy who was visiting our Kingdom Hall, he had gone through a divorce, and he goes, "Hey, do you mind if we go for coffee?" And I was fed up with people at that point already, and he goes, "I just want to tell you my story." I was like, "Huh, all right, I'll bite." I'm very I think my biggest flaw is I like to give people a chance. Okay, sure, go ahead. I have all the time in the world to watch this happen, right? And he goes, listen, whatever's happening in your life doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with me. But I went through this, and I want to tell you that story and how it affected me. And maybe what I went through might help you. Do you mind if I tell you? I said, go for it. And it 100% did. 100% did.
But
And I asked him,
douchey about it.
No.
You know, there's a lot of people who be like, all right, well, they'll make it about them. You know, and then, you know, when it comes back, they want validation on their bullshit. They were never trying to help you. You very rarely do you find them people who actually like reached out to you like that. And it was, I mean, I've met a few. I ain't saying I ain't never met a few, but
sure.
I can't say like I said, you know, the people who, if you really, that's why I really don't talk to too many folks or whatever, because again, the tolerance level has dwindled away.
Sure.
And you know, if I got a problem and I tell you my fucking problem, don't come at me with, oh yeah, well, this is what happened to me, and this is a lot worse, and this is look, motherfucker, you just came to me a couple weeks ago with your shit, and even though you don't believe in my method, you used it and it got you out of your shit. But now you're gonna lecture me on my shit.
See, I like to really point that out to people. And I'll be honest with you, it's a lot of times with Victoria, I'm like, have I ever not put this family first by my actions? No. And she's just, no. Okay. So what makes you think that now I would start doing that? Oh no. Okay. So get your head out of your buttocks and think. Just stop for a second. Why would I be why am I telling you this information? So now I just don't tell her shit. And she's like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah,
fine. Right.
Like I said, there's one person under the earth, aside from my dogs, there's one person that knows 98% of all my everything, knows my secrets, knows the fuck shit I've done, knows the good I've done, knows the bad, everything.
Yeah.
And that's only 98%. You know, there's still that shit that will die with you.
Yes.
I mean, and that's fucking great. You know, and he is one of the one person that I found that no matter what, like he is, you know, said, you know, look, Mark, I see where you're coming from. I think it's some fuck shit, but I see what you're coming from. But it ain't like, oh, go fuck yourself.
No.
You know, and I mean, it's never been, even when we haven't agreed, you know, because there's been a lot of times we've not agreed on different things.
Sure.
I mean, you know, I appreciate it. You know, he respects my opinion. I respect his.
Yes.
And there ain't, you know, like there ain't very many people out there like that anymore. No. And especially if you try to, we'll try to just peruse upon what we were talking about earlier. Especially when you're trying to fucking hold somebody's hand and you tell them that their method fucking sucks and it don't fucking work, but you still, they do that. What'd you say, that the chasking or choke, whatever the fuck you called it? What was the term you used when you ask a question and you do
asshole?
Yeah, asshole. Yeah. You
it's a good word.
Asshole, and you fuck. I see that. For me, it feels like you're calling Cole an ass.
I know.
Anyways, and you try to work somebody through something, and you try to tell them politely but firmly that, look, this isn't the way things work. No matter how much you want it to be like that, and you know, and you still refuse to listen. So when finally somebody kicks your ass out the fucking nest and says, go ahead, if you could fly, fucking fly. Correct. Then you fucking whine about it.
See, this is what I have started to do is I will say, oh, yeah, you should do that. You think so? No. But you want to do it, do it. And I like to go, hey, has that ever worked? No, it hasn't worked. So why do you keep doing it?
That's the definition of insanity.
That's it. Listen, okay. So Paul says, when we learn each other's boundaries and know how we can treat each other is the best. I've always been taught we each have gifts and talents, and if we use them properly together, we could grow in such. Absolutely, you're absolutely true. Listen, no, not one person can do everything, but everyone can do something. Right.
Right.
That's a very valid thing. So this is So Victoria says, "Cause you're a spiteful yet lovable git." No, I am
What
driven
git?
by spite, and
What's a
I
git?
am.
I want to know what the agent that little. I feel like that's an acronym.
It's no. It's a British term. Let's see. Git. I'll tell you exactly what it means.
Because over here, that's like a white hillbilly thing. Get out of here! Yeah.
No, it's an unpleasant or contemptible person. That's me. Yeah. My wife's not a nice person.
You don't say the bad things about Dino.
Yeah, she's contractually obligated to love me. Still, Ryan says, ... Yes, it's you. Good luck. I remember the saying Grandpa said, all the knives, but none of them sharp. When someone knows something about everything, but not enough to good. See, listen, giant idiot teddy bear. I mean, that shoe does fit.
See, as a man and as a supportive on our whole mental health journey,
yes,
I would say giant intelligent teddy bear. And then I would sound like a homo.
100%. Also, like, I am full of shit. Like, as smart as I am, still full of shit. My skill set is that I know like 3 things, backwards, forwards, upside down, whichever way you want to put it. I know them in the 5th dimension. Okay. But I can convert the same logic to anything. And I can go, oh, and people go, how'd you figure that out? I'm like, as like the other shit I know. It's fine. It's just, I can bullshit my way through it. That's all you have to do.
I've found out, and I don't know whether it's just me losing my shit or it's just what's really happening in the world or whatever. But I at this point, I know nothing. That's why I'm constantly doing research on myself, because everything that I thought I knew or shit that I've argued to death, like out of nowhere, and it's real Mandela effecty, but like shit just automatically is different now. Like there's been shit that I fucking know, and then just all of a sudden it's different now, and it ain't like it changed. You know, I look for maybe, what was there new evidence or was there new, and then all of a sudden it's something fucking different.
Bro, as someone who's been wearing Fruit of the Loom underwear for over 20 years, no cornucopia, I'm like, I'm not wearing you anymore. This is weird. Something, hey, I don't know what you did, but y'all fucking weird. I'm not good with that. I'm not okay with it.
I told you about the experiment me and Ricky did, didn't I? It was a few years back.
Which I think you did, but I don't remember.
I've seen there was a video of a woman. She was bitching, like she was snapping on YouTube about like porn being in the Bible, like real explicit shit being in the Bible.
Yeah, and Book of Solomon.
No, not the Book of Solomon.
No, Book of Psalms. It's in the Book of Psalms. It's Solomon saying shit. But anyways, going, yeah.
But I'm like, wait a minute. There was never anything like, you know. And she's spouting off the different things. I'm like, this can't be right. So I start looking through the fucking Bible that I had, and it's fucking there. Like, so then I started looking up a few other things, just like the Queen was never in the Bible, but she is now. Aliens that, you know, illegals or from the sky were never in the Bible. They are now. The words couch and sofa are in the Bible. Those words didn't even exist back then. Yeah, when Jesus came in and the leper was sitting there, go take up your couch and into the house. It wasn't that he was sitting outside on a mat. It was taking your couch. And that's not a revision because, like I said, we did this experiment. We went to the flea market and I sent him down one side of the flea market and I went to the total opposite side. I gave him some money. I was like, pick me up 2 or 3 Bibles, just random Bibles from anywhere.
Yeah.
And I did the same. And we compared this shit, dude. And the closest thing to anything, and you'll love this, the closest thing to anything that we could remember correctly was in the Greek translations of the Bible. And still, those were kind of off.
Yes.
Like all this shit out of nowhere. And then my mom has my great grandma's Bible at her house. It's a fucking thick ass leather bound, has like the gold on that gold sheen on the fucking. Yeah. It's in there. Like, wait, so it's not like a republication or a retelling or shit. It has changed.
So This is I want to continue on this conversation. Just one thing here. I'm the asshole. What did I do exactly? The answer is figure it out yourself. You're on your own. Just so you know. That's ta-da. So my niece, we were over there like a month ago. She had us over for dinner, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to see something really cool?" I'm like, "I always want to see something really cool." So she brought out. They went to a flea market up north, like say hour and a half north of Toronto, right? So butt fuck nowhere. She found Bibles from like the 1800s. Two. One's from like 1820 and the other one's from like 1870 or some shit like that. It might be 1930 and 1880. One of them is definitely like 1870, 1880, and one of them is from a 30, either 1930 or 1830. I don't remember much. But like you said, big fuck like this, okay? Hey, it even had various other books and informations attached to it, like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, like the appendix almost, like
very detailed appendixes, but also it would have appendixes where you could, hey, to understand this story, you have to read this in this order, and then you can understand the story properly. Then it would talk about how you figure this stuff out, how you can calculate. So Nisan 14, which is the Passover, okay, it's calculated on the lunar cycle. So depending on when certain things happen in the year, you have to figure out, that's when you know if it's either in March or in April. Okay. So it explains to you the mathematics of that. It even explained, wildly enough, certain astrological functions as well. Very cool. And then also it had a section for family lineage. So people could put in their entire family tree. You're like, this is the thing. So, and this was the explanation my father gave me, was that for him, growing up in a small town in Greece, number one, you only got to access the Greek scriptures. Why? Because the Greeks are the best. Number one. Okay. But if you wanted an entire Bible, which would come in two separate books, there's the Hebrew scriptures and the Greek scriptures. Okay. You had to buy them separately, usually not even from the same store. And taking them home, you'd have to wrap it in a paper bag. So it was like porn. So no one could see what you had. Yeah. Okay. Because if you wanted to know about the Bible, no, you talk to the papa. The papa, he will tell you whatever you need to know. You listen to the papa, everything will be fine. Okay. God will bless you and you go forward. But my dad's like, listen, I know that fucker. I went to school with him. He's an asshole. I'm not talking to that guy. Right? Which is fair. And this is what people do. So one of the things happened when we were growing up, my dad bought, I'll be honest with you, I'm embarrassed to say this, but still, he bought Encyclopedia Britannica, leather bound, the full fucking deal. Okay. We had a guy come to the house, explain the whole fucking thing. We also got, it's hold on, I have one, they're called, I have one here. They're called the Great Books, and essentially it's all fucking like ancient Greek, Rome, Middle Ages through the 18th century, then as well into like the 19th and 20th centuries, all great books of the Western world. So it's all philosophical stuff, like all of it. Okay. This is from like the 90s. Okay. And I'll tell you, they're in an alarmingly pristine condition because we just read the Bible like a bunch of assholes. Now, that being said, I'll tell you this much. The information in there is not the same as when you go to Google. And this is the thing, is that if it's written, hey, you can't hack a pen and paper as much as you want to.
That's the thing, though. I mean, because apparently you can, because the Bibles have changed. And there's a lot of books that's changed. But as far as the Encyclopedia Britannica, you rich bitch, my grandparents got an encyclopedia too. They were called the World Books, and the World Book, the burgundy ones with that you went and got the green stamps for. That's how much my grandparents spent years of green stamps. And for people who don't know what the green stamps were, you used to go to a grocery store, and if you spent so many, they gave you these little stamps. And then every once in a while, they might have a pot or a pan on the fucking wall. Well, for every 10 stamps, I think you used to get one of the fucking, encyclopedia version. And you had to get it, like they only had like, say, the parts 1 through 4. You had a month to get it.
And then, hey, those aren't coming back. They're gone. They're on to the next one.
My mom still has them in her. She has a closet that's her library.
Yeah.
It's all on one shelf. Like that, it's all them burgundy with the deep blue fucking shit.
It's all bent out, right? It's got 1 2x4 in the middle holding it up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I used to always wonder, like, one of these books was like 1 through 4, but Encyclopedia Britannica, and it was only like maybe I'd say an inch thick, maybe an inch and a half thick. Whereas the Encyclopedia Britannica, 1 was like 2 inches fucking thick. It wasn't 1 through 4; it was just 2 inches.
My mom packed them up and she goes, "You have to take these, otherwise I'm throwing them out." I'm like, "Okay, fine." I loaded them into car. Hey, I even took. My dad was like, so when he came to Canada, he had to get rid of all of his stuff. He's like, I only have so much room, right? So he had a Greek encyclopedia that he sold when we were in Greece. He found it. It was like 2 years newer or 2 years older than the one he had. He bought it, bro. It's 10 volumes. Each volume is probably about 5 inches wide. And like
on the whole Greek pantheon from Zeus down,
bro, it's the crazy shit that's in there. I'll tell you. You're saying going, I don't know that people think this shit exists. Like this is the crazy part. Like, look, you have to understand too, is that so having been like, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, right? One of the big things where people are like, no, that's not God's name, is definitely God's name. And I'll tell you why. Whether you want to believe me or not, okay, that's fine. But it was in Indiana, goddamn fucking Jones in the Crusade, okay? The last Crusade, what's God's name? Jehovah. If you don't believe Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, that's on you. You're a garbage person. That's simple. Okay? Be very clear. Okay? You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe the Bible you have in your home. But you're going to believe Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, or else you're a bad person. It's that simple. Okay? But like, this is the thing is, we would always be instructed to be like, hey, it's usually taken out and just changed to the Lord. Now, there will be an appendix or a foreword that says it's been changed there, but there's usually 2 verses in the Bible where it's never changed. And we always knew which ones those are. And you're going, listen, that's just, you got to, like, it's little things like that where you're like, people are actively trying to change history, right? And it's, you know what? I think it was, it might have even been that fucking retard Shane Gillis who said this. He goes, hey, if it's wild that we have 6,000 years of history and the good guys always won, isn't it? That's crazy. And you're going, shit.
You're like, hey, just to let you guys know, it's Yahweh.
It's not Yahweh, it's Yahweh. You don't it. That's like saying,
I've heard it. I've heard the sand people say it. I've heard the sand people say it. You got to get that little bit of phlegm in the back of your throat when you say it.
The Greeks made language, my friend, not the Middle East. The Greeks, okay? I will tell you how it's said. Hey, I'll tell you. The funny thing is, it's the same thing like Cool Whip. You're like, no, you don't pronounce the H. It's not okay. You don't. It's H, not H.
There was an argument me and one of the my other buddies had. You might have even been in it, but when we came down to it, when we translated, it was like you're praying to like Dave or something like that, or it was or Jim or some shit like that. When it all translated down to fucking English, it ain't Jesus, it ain't Allah or Yahweh or Gajira, whoever the fuck he wrote up there.
Don't but he pretends to be Christian. Don't listen to him. It's the thing is, it's the same thing like Jesus is. That's not a real name, right?
No, it was the most androgynous name they could come up with because they were putting together the fucking pagans and the Christians fucking religions. So they was like, we're not gonna make him straight, but we're not gonna make him a woman. So I mean, if you go by the Constantine and what was that the fuck council of where they came up with the Bible, Jesus was the first trans person. Let's just put it out there. At least
that's what they're trying to. Yeah,
you know that was the whole reason why they did that shit.
Bible was put together. It's the Council of Rome. No. Various councils, synods, and key discussions made by the Council of Rome. It's the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah, Nicaea.
Yeah, and they go through, and this is the problem is that Joshua, which is a Jewish name.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was. It was
Jesus was named. Christ. How did the Pope die? You probably killed him, you dirty son of a bitch.
Yeah, according to a lot of MAGA haters, J.D. Vance visited him and then he died. Yeah. There.
He used one of those Russian umbrellas to just bam, jack him. But so the whole principle behind it was that he would actually needed a name that would be distinguished and separated from everybody else, right? And listen, I don't want to go into Apocrypha and stuff like that. I would like to go to it at a later date, though. We will discuss.
Oh, we can.
Listen, we got to spread it out because I don't want this to just to be religious type stuff. I want it to be historical and everything, right? So this one,
I'm actually going to segue into what else I wanted to talk about.
We can do that. So, but the whole thing is that when you get into it, this is the weird part is that a lot of the Bible has but hasn't been altered. So hasn't been altered in that the books are still the books. What has been altered was which books are considered in the Bible, the canon versus Apocrypha, right? So the idea behind it all is when you get into the nitty gritty of it is that certain books, certain information was viewed as, no, that shouldn't be for everybody. That should be downplayed. Now, the really cool part is a lot of those books are still in existence. You just have to find something that's legitimately it because people are, as we know, we've all been on the internet, pieces
Ethiopian
of shit.
Bible.
Well, so there's things like the Ethiopian Bible, which is well before the King James, and the King James is a fucking slaughtering of the Bible, to be very clear.
The Ethiopian Bible is supposed to be the oldest recorded, you know, as far as Christianity and shit like that. And there's like 36 books. There's like way more books than the regular Bible.
No, they're black people. I don't
and then supposedly for the longest time, the original was supposed to be sitting with the Ark of the Covenant, Axum. But then I just found out I'm about 6 months or maybe a year ago, is that Axum got raided by rebels or whatever. So that they're not real. The people of Axum still say the Ark is still there, but a lot of them say no, it got stolen in the raids.
Well, there was that one time where the Pope and the head of the Orthodox
that was the Ark of Gabriel. That they took to Antarctica. That was actually supposed to be a fucking weapon.
Hey, they've already. So this is the thing is, it's wild is that after that, the Pope's health started to go south. Maybe someone touched something they weren't supposed to touch.
Was it the same Pope?
This one. Listen, if you've ever read the Bible, you'll know that the only people that were allowed to carry the Ark of the Covenant were the Levites. And the Levites, now, why? This is not information for us.
Just a little side note on this. Your God, if you're a Christian, Catholic, whatever like that, was a dick. It was a dick. Because he pretty much just said, the Levites, fuck them. They're going to get cancer.
So, well, this is the thing is that at one point in time, I forget which book it was in. It's in the Hebrew scriptures, but
it's an Exodus, Ark of the Isn't it in Exodus?
It might be in Numbers. I'm not sure. It's in the Torah, so it's the first 5 books of the Bible. Okay.
Yeah.
So, essentially, somebody slipped. The Ark was falling. This guy put his hand out to stop it. Struck dead instantly. Now, the place where the Ark was supposedly held in that church in Ethiopia, all the guys who are guarding it have gone blind and have massive health issues.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that a lot of them will go blind and then much later they'll die from something catastrophic. But like the first thing is eyesight goes. Now, I can only know what I do know, and I know that I don't know much. But I'll tell you one thing: if everyone hangs out in a certain area and everyone gets something, that's some weird shit. It's similarly, there's actually a cave access that was termed as the entrance to the underworld. When they tested, they were like, so unless you're above, if your head is above this area, you'll get oxygen. But if you're below this area, it's massive carbon dioxide poisoning, like almost immediately. And you're going, so as soon as you go to this area, you just die immediately. And so you're like, entrance to the underworld.
They hallucinate a little bit, and that's where they got. Oh, there's demons.
100%. But well, and also too, anyone who's been on mushrooms goes, oh, there's some weird shit out there. Whether it's in your head, outside, I'll tell you right now, is my fucking fancy Toto toilet. Okay, it's got 4 lights on the back. One's blue, 4 are green. Okay, and I'll tell you, last time I took mushrooms, I was sitting on the toilet because I like to sit in the toilet with all the lights off because then it's totally black, and some weird shit happens. And I'll tell you, the lights were wild. Okay. And hey, now if I go in the middle of the night and I don't turn the light on, I'll just sit there and I'm like, oh, it's not too wild. On mushrooms, the geometric movements. Hey, I haven't seen that shit in a long time.
Geometric movements, were you?
Hey, I was sitting on the toilet trying to take a shit, and I'm just going, "Oh, this is new. This is wonky." But you know.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried to take a shit while I was hallucinating, and I don't know if that would be fun. That would be an experience I want to take part in.
Well, so this
is I pissed a rainbow one time, but that was about it.
Never pissed a rainbow.
Oh yeah, I watched colors just fucking.
Okay. This is so you. I know you wanted to hit on something else, so we'll do that. But like, that's the thing is like, if you go into some really weird stories, one of them we were discussing earlier was the Y-Files, which Serge sent to me. Is like, so the Y-Files does a 24-hour live stream of their show, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that, but I do want to do it because it's just it's restreaming the stuff he's already done, and I'm like, it's a good idea because then you just go live in the comments and you just talk.
A lot of it doesn't have hecklefish in it though. You got to catch one of them has hecklefish and the other one's like stripped down. I forget what he called it. I mean, it's all the same shit, but you got to have the hecklefish in there.
I like heckle. Well, he'll do like the 3-hour broad strokes, or not the 3-hour details where he's figuring everything out, and then he does like the 30-minute condensed version where it's just detail after detail with hecklefish and everything like that. I love it either way. But one of the things was he was talking about how the Philosopher's Stone, the experiment for it was on the internet a while ago. Well, it's you have to boil down and refine your own urine. Hey, it's a like decade. I think it was 15 years in total is the entire process.
Yeah.
And at any point in time, the whole thing could go to shit. So, but that's one of those things where you're going, yeah, that's think about it. If you had the power to do something like that, that's extremely dangerous in the wrong hand. And let's be honest, the internet is extremely dangerous in the wrong hands, as we've seen by the censorship and conditioning that's been happening. The fact that, listen, for how many weeks now, What the Fuck Wednesdays and Motherfucking Mondays, we're going, there's not much news worth talking about.
Right.
There's a lot of shit happening, people. There's a lot of shit happening. And you know what? Why are we not hearing about it? Very weird.
And that brings us to, we'll do a little segment on what we didn't get to go do this morning. Usually motherfucking Mondays, we recap whatever that went over on the weekend and stuff. And, again, with that, the news has been very few and far. But I did notice something. First of all, while everybody's out here whining about the Metcalf and Carmelo case, which there's still a lot of fuck shit on both sides going on there. I don't care which side you follow, call me racist or not. That kid killed that fucking white kid, whether it was warranted or not, whatever, but they're acting like in their true form. and you see where the money is going and everything. Don't believe that bullshit that it's not doing. Because I had this discussion yesterday with a family member and I just to go back and make sure I was right about what I was saying. I looked at it and I was wrong. They didn't go and buy $100,000 house. They bought a $900,000 house. Fuckwits. Just saying. So there's that, but there's something that I noticed that
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Before you go any further, there was actually a statement released by the family today explaining that the GoFundMe money wasn't actually going to be used. It might still be used for legal representation, but it was more so for the safety and security of the family, primarily.
Yeah. I heard about that. They had to hire a whole security team because they were getting.
Why? They can't stab those people too? What?
While they booted the father of the kid that was murdered out of a press conference before he could hear what anything was said. That man wasn't starting shit. He didn't get loud with nobody. He went in there very respectfully. He just wanted to hear what had to be said. They forcibly escorted that man out of that fucking press conference.
And did he stab anybody?
No, not at all.
No? Wow. You mean to tell me, hold on, Marco, let's make sure we got this straight. You mean to tell me that if you're somewhere where you're not wanted, you don't have to stab people. You can actually just listen to them and get the fuck out.
I thought it must be a new concept to this generation.
I mean,
I don't know. But so on top of that, while everybody's fucking paying attention to that, when I started digging into that, I found out there have been not just the FSU, because some people might have heard about the FSU shooting. There was a little mass shooting going on there. There's been five school shootings. 5 with a bunch of kids dead that nobody talks about. Fucking look them up. I'm not telling you, Dino. I'm telling that.
I want you to. I want to do it. Come on.
They ain't telling us about it. Yeah, 5 schools, not colleges, schools. And that was just from 2 days ago, maybe. What else was there? Something that really got glanced upon. No, not too many people are talking about it. Y'all do know that the government came out publicly. They had little speeches and press conferences and shit about it. We can time travel. We can manipulate time and space. The government has been doing it. I mean, and even in the one press conference, the dude tried to kind of backtrack in the middle of what he was saying. He went from, "Oh yeah, we've been doing this for a while," to, all we have to do is apply the technology and we can do it. No, motherfucker, you just said we've been doing this. You said we've been doing this. So that could also, I mean, theoretically, if you don't want to believe in the Mandela effect or CERN having anything to do with this, or maybe the crossing of dimensions, there's quite a few conspiracy theories about this. They publicly, one of these fuckwits, who knows? It could have been Trump's stupid ass going back in time. All you got to do is that the butterfly effect. You step on something the wrong way, or you fucking, smack the butterfly and it sends a ripple through everything. And it's totally not being talked about nobody. Nobody. I do hear about some 60-year-old man fucking an 18-year-old autistic girl and maybe turning her out, and people are having a fit about that. But I mean,
you should have a fit about that, but also, I feel like time travel is more important. Maybe I'm a little heartless, people, but I don't think your sexual exploitation of each other is important to me. More important is time travel.
It's none of my fucking business. But yeah, I mean, and then they just let it go like it was something in passing. Yeah, we can time travel. We can manipulate time and space. Everybody was talking about quantum theory and mechanics and all these theoretical physics and shit like that. Now it's not just theory; it's fucking real. Well, it's been real, and they just nobody ever told us about it.
Well, have you read anything up about the chronovisor in the Vatican?
It's the Dumbledore fucking thing.
Basically, essentially, you can see into the past is what
Now,
the whole
see,
thing.
I heard a couple different stories about it.
Mhm.
One, there was one of the priests went down there and he saw Jesus being crucified
Yes.
and all that shit. Another one I've heard was he looked into it. He seen Jesus being crucified, but he was being crucified by lizard people.
Ooh.
So, that's why a lot of the ancient people hated him or whatever, because he was human. There was lizard people in them days, and those were the people who crucified him. Those were the ones throwing the rocks at him and all that shit that shanked him in the side.
Yes. See,
Yeah, so
this is the frustration I have with that information is that we are incapable of perceiving things as accurate as we think we can perceive them. Okay.
trust
Now
me.
this well, let's be honest, is that the idea was that who was it? I forget which murderer where they got glasses and curly hair. It's a very distinct drawing. And
The
when
Unabomber?
I think it might be the Unabomber, I'm not sure. But the wild part was all those people that said, yep, that's what he looks like. That person is the sketch artist. It's not the Unabomber.
No shit.
Yeah. So and that the reason was that he came to them a little while afterward. And ultimately, the problem is that there's truth and then there's perception. There's two separate things, right? Because in the same sense as like the two sides of communication are you being able to convey the information, but also being able to receive information. So similarly, if I can speak in 10 different languages, but I can only understand one, I can't speak 10 different languages. I can speak one, right? But if I can converse back and forth in 10 different languages, well, now I can communicate. So it's the same idea where regardless of how information is delivered, it's can you pick out the truth, right? And that's a level of perception and communication that a lot of people forget about, because a lot of people, some viewers, this is directly to you, is that you don't listen, you're waiting for your turn to speak.
Right.
And this is where the actual ability to communicate, where look, we said it earlier, was the fact that not everyone can do everything, but every person can do something. And now listen, I'll tell you this much. I always have a good conversation with people and they come around and they're like, man, that was a good conversation. I will learn something from every conversation. Some of those conversation is not to fucking talk to that person. Okay. That may be what I learned. Okay.
I learned that I'm not going to speak to this person again.
Yeah. I need to avoid that person at all costs for my own mental health. That is a very legitimate piece of knowledge. Okay.
Right.
Because the fact is that some people just talk because they like the sound of their own voice. They don't actually want to exchange knowledge. They just want to. Okay. So in the same sense, by being able to observe something of the past, your perception of what's happening is going to be altered by who you are. So the idea of seeing lizard people, right? There's a very good chance that what you're seeing is not actual lizard people, but people who are untrustworthy.
Well, see, this is where like my belief system kind of crosses over into that whole mess of the Bible and Christianity. Now, anybody who knows me knows I my religion, my belief system, if there is any, goes from the oldest writings in the world. That's the Sumerian text. Even though they're finding bodies everywhere, still the oldest writings, the oldest, are the Sumerian texts. Now, the Sumerian text says we were created by the Anunnaki. We were a slave race. which kind of, if you read your Bibles or your holy books, and here and there, you start realizing, yeah, we were doing fuck shit for these gods. They were never gods. They were just aliens with better technology. Either way, they never. Anunnaki is a generic term because it was a race of beings that were a multitude, like pretty much America. There was different types. There could have been the dog-headed guy who ended up being Anubis, or the bird-headed person, or the snake-headed, shit like that there.
Yeah.
But anyways, they were humanoid, but they weren't humans.
Right.
So if you take that and you take the theory of evolution where, we go fish, frog, lizard, dinosaur, monkey people. That don't work. It could go, all that dinosaur lizard people, which could have been an evolution there, which
Sure.
then, the humanoids got mixed with the Anunnaki gene. Maybe the Anunnaki were more human like us than the Homo, whatever the fuck that they supposedly crossed us with. So now there's a good possibility, just through religion and Darwinism, that there were lizard people, even though I fucking hate that theory.
Yeah.
So what if it was? What if Jesus was a rebel? Because Jesus is mentioned in the book of Enki. And Jesus and Yahweh, Cool Whip, whatever the fuck the name is, and all these
Definitely call him Cool Whip from now on.
all these different fucking pantheons of gods or whatever actually did exist, and a lot of them were products of intermixing between the gods or the Anunnakis or the aliens and humans, which were forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there you go with your immaculate contraception, or your fucking, going off into the wilderness and coming back and saying that Allah told me to have you dressed like ninjas, or who is the John Smith, come and look at my hat. Oh, the tablets disappeared.
Well, this is okay. So not to cut you off, but just to add a little bit to some context to all that as well, is that in the Bible, okay, it says to obey only. So Yahweh was the
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip was the translation of what's termed the Tetragrammaton. It was 4 symbols that were not to be said by man. Now, whether that means it was a word of power or whatever, isn't it regardless, okay? But that translation is Yahweh, Cool Whip, Jehovah, however you want to put it. Now,
Josh
was Jesus. That's fine. But this is the thing, is in the Bible, it says to not obey or do obeisance to any other of those false gods. Now, hold on. Gets even better. In the Bible, it also says to not listen to other writings of false prophets. Now, this is where it gets really tricky, which we may get canceled for this, was that people will always say that the reason that the Quran is uncorrupted is because it's so new. The problem is that the Quran references the Bible as being factual. They believe in the Bible, okay? But the Bible says not to listen to any future writings of false prophets.
Have you ever read the Quran?
What the fuck do I look like?
Oh my god!
I'm wearing a tracksuit, baby. I don't read the Quran. Okay?
Dude, I've read. Well, I haven't read through the whole thing. But
I've read excerpts.
You wanna fucking see some comic book shit? I mean, you thought the fucking regular Christian Bible had some sci-fi shit to it, like dude. And this is weird, but I found this out during around Christmas time when I was looking up the different deities, the Christmas deities. Krampus, that was not a white people concept. No. That was not a Germanic. That was not that Krampus was in the Quran. His name was not Krampus, but he was this big demonic entity that rode in a sleigh pulled by snakes, and he would gather bad children in his bag and eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, jinn are real is to this day. Genies, but bad ones like Wishmaster, still real to this day.
Well, this is the thing is that there are there are things in existence that's only desire is to corrupt that which they find. Period. Right? And this wildly brings us back to our first point is that true friends, true honesty between friends is heartfelt, out of love, and fucking hurts every time. Okay? Someone who coddles you does not love you.
And now, I'm gonna play the Cole part for tonight.
All right.
And you fucking women, don't give two fucks about each other. This whole girl power, this whole let's girls stick together. You lying fucking cunts. You, dude, like a perfect example. My ex and I, we went to our they had a birthday party for her at their family bar. You know, we we did it all up nice and everything. She walks in, she's dressed very pretty, but she has this ungodly fucking scarf around her neck. It was like damn near bolo, but whatever boa type fucking thing. It was just gaudy. It was ugly. Did not do anything to compliment her outfit. It wasn't cold. When she came in, I'm like, honey, I don't know about that scarf. Oh, so-and-so said it was nice. And so she had a fucking crowd of friends telling her that this fucking ugly rat nest was on her on her neck was the shit that, the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And then as she's at the bar, I'm listening to her friends talk shit about, you see that ugly thing around her neck? I go back to her, honey, I'm telling you. Your friends don't think that's nice. They're just being, I just said, they're just being nice to you. This is your party. People, why be a dick? You're the friend. I try to smooth it over the best I can. She did not want to listen for shit. To this day, I bet you that bitch still got that scarf thinking she's $1 million in that $2 fucking scarf.
Hey, this is, you know what, man? It comes back to that whole idea, okay? Everyone's being body positive. And the fact was that they turned it around and go, hey, you're all 10s. You all look like Lizzo. Oh, but that's not a compliment. Okay? You're all queens. You all look like Dylan Mulvaney. Why? You guys supported him. Why? You don't want to look like that? Stop. Hey, sometimes I will honestly believe that sometimes you will lie to people's feelings because you don't want to hurt them. Okay, we all have been there.
But some people we got to put a check. I like it again, especially on these women. Look, ladies, I love a big girl. I've always been a dude who's been with bigger girls. It's just been my thing. Whatever. But a big girl could be hot. A big girl could be beautiful. Dressed appropriately. I went to this show in fucking Salem the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Big old white girl. A big girl. I mean, she wasn't bad looking in the face. Big girl. See-through shirt. Tight as fuck. Black bra on. See-through fucking tight ass pants. Gut hanging this way. Gunt hanging this way. Fucking. She needed a bra for the titties on her back.
Oh,
got some fucking dude walk. You know what? If that dude really loved you, he'd have been like, babe, don't go out like that. Don't go out like that. You look like a sauce. You look like one of them fucking, like a speaker wire that took too much voltage where the fucking plastic started bubbling up on it. No, that is not more taste.
No,
I bet you that tasted like fucking ass. That's what that tasted like.
Listen. This is where people are like, no, if someone loves it, you should be encouraging. No. That has created half of the problems we're dealing with these days. You know why? Because every dipshit, because back in the day, okay, every dipshit would say, I think the world's flat. And everyone go, hey, stop talking. You're stupid. Don't bring that up. Don't bring it up again. You're fine. Okay. And now, though, they will link up with other stupid people in different towns, and they will have conventions.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
she had bad taste.
make
Yeah,
their-
she had bad taste in style, but her friends had bad taste in honor and love because they said, "Oh, yes, queen." Disgusting. How dare you?
yeah. And and women don't fucking come with this bullshit. Well, men like that. Yeah, you have a pussy.
No, they don't.
Every fucking man or every woman, no matter how ugly you think you are, how big you think you are, toothless or not, you know, every woman could fuck whatever man she wants at least once. Even gays, even the gays, there's been women that, got the gay dude drunk and the gay dude wakes up the next morning feeling molested because he fucked this fucking chick.
He lost his gold star status. That's
right.
What happened.
He dropped down the copper and didn't even get a finger in the butt.
I mean, listen, that's well, this is I see, and this is what I try and explain to people is it's not what you can get, it's what you can hold on to. Okay, that's the real difference, and this is why. Listen, you and I can attest to this. Is we've had friends, we've lost friends, sometimes quick, sometimes over years, but people are on different paths. I wish no ill will to anyone. Okay. But I'm still going to laugh when you trip and fall on your face. You know why? Because that shit's fucking hilarious. Sorry. Okay. That's not on me. That's
Especially
just the universe.
If said, hey, watch your step.
Well, we've been saying that for a while. And you're like, no, I'm good. And you trip on thin air and fall on your face. Yeah, it's funny. It's hilarious. Okay. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'll try and not say, I told you so, because that's not nice. But sometimes I'll tell you I told you so.
After the third time, nah. Look, it's right there. The fucking thing right there. Fuck it. Go ahead, fall again. I'm taping it this time.
Do a second take. I wasn't rolling. That's fair. No, listen. This is the truth, everyone. Is that if you really care about somebody, be honest. If they can't accept your honesty, then they weren't your friend in the first place. Okay? Which, hey, sometimes we talked about it last week. We talked about lending money and cars. And the best way to lose somebody is to lend them money. You'll never see that person again. Or that person will come back with interest and go, hey, man, I really appreciate it. If you ever need anything, hit me up. Right? That is a difference. There's a very big difference. And that's character that we've lost over time. It's just one of those things.
I mean, a perfect example of that is when Greg works on my cars or whatever.
Yes.
The last thing that he did on my car, he was, all right, how much money you need, bro? $250. Does that sound good? No, $300 sounds better. Here you go. Thank you.
Bro, you brought me all the Lego, and I was like, how much does this cost? You're like, I don't remember. I'm like, no, I remember you said more than that. And you're like, no, it's less than that. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Here's more. And you're going, I don't think so. I'm like, listen, let's just both be comfortable with it. Why? Because I don't remember either. And we're both fucking retarded. So listen, this is the money I have. Just take this and we're good. Why? Because I appreciate it and you had to hold on for extra. That's reasonable. That's not, don't be ridiculous about it. But the problem is people stand there going, oh, well, I don't know if that's fair. What? Listen, this is one of those key things. Let your yes mean yes and your no, no. And I'll tell you, if you hear me say no, don't ask me again because you're not going to like the second no because it's going to be fuck no. Okay.
See the parent in me again. You get 3. Like, nah, dude, I'm good. I'm good. No, dude, I'm done. Third time, you're not gonna like what I got to say.
Yeah, I'm taking my belt off.
Yeah.
You're gonna remember today, just so you know. That's fine.
That's the way I brought my kids up. I mean, it was just that, and especially and I learned that from my mama. So I don't know if it's good or not, but I noticed as I got older, the no's got less and less and less. And it's quick. If my mom said no and I asked again, what?
Listen, hey, Uncle Butter said it best. You need to know each other's boundaries. That's totally fair. Listen, Once, this cocksucker sent me a picture of poop. I said, "Don't you ever send that again." And he was like, "All right, no
I
problem."
remember.
I was like, "Hey, don't send that shit to me, you fucking son of a bitch." Immediately, I was like, "He's like, well, I sent it to Ryan." I'm like, "I don't give a shit what you send to Ryan. You don't send me that shit." And he was like, "All right, never happen again." That's a boundary. We respect boundaries. It's totally reasonable.
Right. And I can respect that because I ain't a fan of poop play neither. It was just a silly meme. But I mean,
I did advise him to go to the doctor. I was like, "You should go to the doctor."
Send poop, then you're still shitting on somebody. So yeah, we don't do the poop pictures no more.
I did say, "Hey, you can see somebody." Why would you send anyone a picture? Listen, Victoria, sometimes you have to, okay? It's a thing, okay? Don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
And this goes back into a boundaries thing. I had a friend of mine who just couldn't understand if I'm fucking busy or if I don't answer the fucking phone. I mean, because it seemed like he would always call while I'm either taking a shit or butt naked getting into the shower. It was just like he had a sixth sense. He would fucking do that. So I was like, look, you do this shit to me again, and I'm sending you a dick pic. And wouldn't you know it, the next fucking day he did the same thing. So I sent him a dick pic, and lo and behold, mama and his aunt and his daughter and a few other people were sitting right there as my dick was on his screen. And he's like, dude, hey, quit fucking doing it. I asked you over and over again.
Yeah. Listen, if you don't respect boundaries, you have to respect the catapult that I'm going to send your way. Because I'll tell you,
Nana's gonna get the dick.
It's all wieners. It's all wieners. That's fair. Do we know what we're talking about Wednesday?
If we find some fucking news. I mean, the closest thing I got, to anything is that fucking illegal that was in Maine, that they deported to El Salvador. One of these fucking judges went down there to go talk to this fucking dude.
Yeah.
What the dude?
Hey,
really?
Because courts aren't backed enough. He needed to go to El Salvador.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Well, how many of the people of California did you go visit when the fire happened? How many people in North Carolina and Tennessee did you go visit when they were freezing or flooded? No, none. That's right. How many people did you go see up in Michigan or Detroit when they're fucking drinking toxic fucking shit water? None. Oh, but you're gonna go to El Salvador to go try to fucking pat this fucking illegal on the ass.
Listen, maybe we should talk about virtue signaling on mass. Maybe we'll do that on Thursday. We'll see. All right, let's call it a night. I gotta go for a smoke and try and I gotta get out of this suit. I feel too fancy in this. It's too much. I feel
like that suit will make you grow titties. Get out of it.
Maybe. I don't know. Get out of it. Anyways, this has been Life of Giants, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you don't, God won't love you. That's just, obvious from what we said. But in the meantime, have a wonderful day, and we will see you on Wednesday. Later.